Chris Coghlan. You see some of the numbers during that magical run, a 9-year big league career, played for the Marlins, Cubs, A's, and Blue Jays. Outfielder during that 2016 World Series championship run, and with the Marlins, Rookie of the Year in the National League. So let's not waste any time. Let's bring the man in. Chris, thanks so much for joining us. How you been since last time we saw you, man?
Been great.
Bringing some of that Florida heat up here?
Yeah, too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Yeah.
All right. So taking a look at the ballpark today, the flags, they're flying. They look to be pointed in that direction, going the opposite way. What's it like being a hitter at Wrigley Field on a warm and balmy day like this?
Oh, man, it's the best.
Yeah. Okay.
As a hitter, but I will sweat all day long.
Okay.
For them flags coasting out.
Really?
I know. Yeah, because I was out there with the boys and seeing some of the guys, and you're like, man, everyone's loose today.
Were you out there during BP?
Yeah.
How did BP look? Was it flying?
It was flying, but I'll tell you, I'll give you a little inside scoop. I was down there, and I'm like, man, the wind's coming in, and the flag's going straight out.
Play with your mind.
All kinds of
so I don't know. We were looking at the wind. If you look at the flag, of course, everyone's like, yeah, man, it's a good day to hit one in the air.
Right.
Okay. But we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. Well, they have a third baseman, Matt Shaw, that's trying to figure things out on the fly, right?
Yeah.
Great defense. But talk about just some of the adjustments that you think he's going to have to make to stay here. Because you can get here. It's easy to get here.
Yeah.
But harder to stay.
Yeah, it's so much harder to stay. I remember that same question. I don't know if you remember last year I came with PCA.
Yes.
And we had the same talk.
Well,
and I was
the
like,
answer clearly is working out for PCA, so put some of that knowledge on Matt Shaw.
Yeah, that's all his. I can take zero credit for that. But, the hardest part is really just working through all the things. You go through different phases as a player. In the beginning, you're like, I got my dream, but now I gotta stay here.
Yeah.
And that's a different mentality, a different set of equipment. And then guys can make the jump like a PCA, and now he's like, I know I can stay here.
Right.
Those are two different things. One's convicted and one's kind of more hoping. And then you get to the other side, and then you see all the skill sets live out. So for him, just like anyone, regardless of the name, is play your game, stick to what got you here. But you got to be somewhat stubborn.
Sure.
Because you can't listen to all the noise.
Yeah.
But you can't be so stubborn.
A lot of cooks in the kitchen.
You don't pick up on a veteran that's like, hey, man, I've been here and done that. This is what worked for me. I'm not saying that works for you, but I'm just saying this is what worked for me. Why don't you consider some of that? Maybe you make this tweak. Maybe you don't do that. Because when you're young, you're just doing as much as
it's fast,
volume as you can. Everything.
The game is moving.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to. When you're talking to kids, it's like slow things down. But they like, how you do that?
That's a great question. What do you say?
So I think the biggest thing is if you make time for yourself, then I have one thought. I try to get to that one thought. The hardest thing to do is that one thought you're trying to get to say, all right, I'm looking for this pitch. And you have to buy into that.
Yeah.
Right? Because I always felt I wasn't good middle away. Okay? So I had to work on that.
Yeah.
But I perfected in my mind middle in.
Yeah.
So I can't miss that pitch.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference of the youngsters. Are they missing that pitch?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. I think that's such good stuff. That's why I asked, because I'm like, dude, that's the magic question.
Yeah.
The magic question is, slow it down. That's what everyone says.
Right.
Well, how do you slow it down?
Sure.
Guess what? You got to pay a price to slow it down. And everyone doesn't want to pay the price. Well, the price is reps. The price is getting in there and doing it again and not getting your teeth kicked in so bad, so fast that you lose your job. But you got to take your lumps, and that's just feedback to be able to say, I think it slows down once you don't ever lose what you're great at.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't be so focused on the things that you struggle away. Mine was the opposite of you.
Same.
Why you hit way more pumps than I did, right? It's like I couldn't perfect the ball in, but I could do the ball middle away, and I had a good eye. So that's what I looked for. I'm going to hunt that, right? And at the end of the day, it's just a game of attrition. Can he dot me in more than I say more stubborn on what I do away? And that way I'm not so focused on what I don't do well. And now I just lose what I'm great at, and I get marginally better at what I was never meant to be great at. So I'm like, man, know what you great at, and then go hunt.
Outside of winning Rookie of the Year, was there a moment in particular when you said to yourself, okay, the game has indeed slowed down for me?
That's a great question. I don't think you ever think it slows down until you look back, right? Like in the moment, I'm not like, oh man, it's slow. It's like, man, my last maybe 2-3 years in the league, I was like, oh, it's kind of slow. I'm like, gosh, I can't even like get up for a game. I got to like manufacture. Where when I was younger, I'm like, dude, I don't even need to stretch. Let's go. Let's roll. Because I got so much dopamine and so much adrenaline rush coming through. I don't need to do anything. Towards the end, you're like, man, the playoffs was the only thing that got me to go, oh man, I felt like a kid again. I'm like, I don't even need to stretch. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
You know, so I think it does take a little bit where you're like, you look back and you're like, the game is starting to slow because I can process more variables that are going on in the game versus, okay, just if the ball's away, crush it.
Yeah.
And then over time, you're playing chess versus like...
Not such a robotic mindset.
Yeah. Because you got to simplify. That was the word he was really, in my opinion, I don't want to is I got to simplify a complex...
Hardest thing to do.
In the world. Yeah. Round ball, round bat, ball's moving multiple planes. You got 40,000 telling you, and you got 8 fielders out there that are going to go tell you, I'm going to try to catch it even when you do hit it. Line drive. And you're like, I got to quiet all that noise, and I just need to focus on one thing. And if I stay locked in on that one thing, you know, I'm going to do my game. And then if you're good enough, you dominate.
All right. Well,
so talk about you played multiple positions. Which one did you actually enjoy the most? But I think the biggest thing is how do you prepare that mindset because everybody thinks you can just go get a glove and just play anywhere. It ain't that. Because being a super utility, that label is, for me, you need that. Like you need these, you needed guys like you consistently. You can grab a glove and play anywhere other than probably go behind the dish.
Yeah. I was always hoping they wouldn't make me do that.
Can you catch though?
I would. That's the question.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. Whatever I got to do.
Right.
But I was like, man, they're going to blow my thumb up. You know, give me one of them thumb guards, you know. But we're in trouble if I'm back there. I'm on the third one, right? 2 guys went down. But I think that question is so good trying to figure out, you know, hey, what position? There was a mindset. So the first question was, hey, which one did you love?
Yeah.
I'm going to say all people will say the one they were best at, which is left field. I was best defensively left field. Why was I the best? Because that was where I played the most.
Yeah.
I came up as an infielder, but we had Miguel Cabrera and Dan Ugla, you know, and then you're in Hanley. Where are you going to go play? Yeah. You know, they're all hitting 30 pumps. Yeah, you know, I'm like, okay, I'll go play left, whatever you need, right? Exactly. And so I always wanted to come back to the infield, but by the time I came back, it was 5 years later. And then I'm like, ooh, the game's a little faster now, right? I'm used to the ball being out there and running them in the gap. In the beginning, they're hitting 130 down my throat, and I'm like, I'm not as good as I once was, you know, here. So the mentality, I think, is a personality, too. My personality, even though I did it, I don't think I was elite because my personality tends to want to control. And so I grind all the details out so that I feel prepared. Personalities that are more loose do better in that. Like when I looked at Zobrist, and I thought in my era, he was the best at it. And when we played together, I was like, man, and I pick his brain, and I'm like, man, his personality is catered better. He's like, yeah, I'll go. I'm good. And I'm like, whoa, man, I didn't take infield out there. Why didn't you tell me before the game? Wait a second. I took him at the other 7 positions, but I didn't do that one today because it's Tuesday.
Zoe was like a no big deal kind of guy.
Yeah,
right?
Zoe was like, yeah, I got it.
I was with him in 08. Yeah. That was him. I'm like, hey, Zoe, we worked. It's over. Like he goes, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm like, well, what you doing? I'm going to work some more. Yeah. I'm like, what? And so I thought eyewash, right? I'm like, come on, bro.
It's real deal.
But it worked. And that was 08.
Yeah.
Changed everything about his career. That was 08.
Hundo.
And I was like, I got it. I will never disrespect you again in that aspect.
He's that kind of guy who does everything that everybody hates to do, and he does them like he loves them, right?
But he does it more.
Okay.
Like it doesn't stop.
And over.
I was like, go home.
Yeah, and I was like that personality. I was like that tack driver, right? And so I would have to do it. What made me a little bit concerned now that I look back on it was you can't do every position every day, right? So you're like, man, I got to shag here, I got to go to center, I got to go to right, and I got to get an infield. Well, I still got to hit. Well, as a utility guy, you do early infield like they're doing right now. Yeah. Well, the starters need to go first, right? So I'm like, man, I got to wait for whoever to get his reps, and so I'm getting the leftovers. So you're trying to fill your tank and Zoe did it since he came up, so he had so many more reps more than I did because I didn't become utility till maybe after my 5th season. He was better if they were like, all right, we need you to go to right field. Yeah. I would have been like, well, man, I didn't do right field in BP today.
Okay.
I did the other 5. And so I was a little nervous where he's like, yeah, just give me that glove and I'll just go do it.
No, Ben.